Good morning here in The Hague, but as well in Bologna, in Lagos. So today we have a match between two teams who are starting the competition, this 8th edition of the Hague Inter-University Law Debate Tournament. My name is Mr. Lorange, Aurélien Lorange, co-director of the Coax Foundation, and today I will be having the honor to host this match between the University of Lagos and the University of Bologna. So the two teams receive a topic concerning state responsibility, environmental law, and they will be debating today. They don't know yet which position they will have. We'll know a bit later in this session. But first I will give the floor, of course, to the participants to introduce themselves for this match, so alternatively between the two teams. So we start first with the team in Lagos, Grace Enachi, Amara Chukwu. Welcome.
Hello, good morning to everyone.
Thank you. I would just ask that you raise your voice when you will be speaking, because the microphone is a bit... Yes, the microphone is a bit far from you.
Okay. Am I a bit more audible now?
Yes, better. Yes. Thank you very much. We have as well Mr. José Molinelli Gonzalez. Welcome.
Thank you very much. José Molinelli, LLM student from the University of Bologna. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you and welcome. We have as well in Lagos Lawrence Uchendu. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning to my judges and my colleagues from the University of Bologna. It's great to be here. Pleasure.
Welcome. We have as well in Bologna Gulekan Yildiz. Welcome.
Hello everyone, it's so great to be here with you. I am also from University of Bologna.
Thank you, welcome. We have as well in Lagos Olaide Tozin.
Good morning everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a platform. Pleasure to be with you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And we have as well a third member in Bologna, Mahmoud Bayramov. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Good morning to everyone. I am honored to be here. I'm also a first-year master's student at the University of Bologna.
Welcome. And I mentioned as well that you have as well a coach supporting you during this competition. So greetings for the coach of the University of Lagos to Michael Adedayo, who might watch the match, I guess, on YouTube. And greetings as well to the two coaches of the Bologna team who have been participating last year. So Mr. Salah Eddin Chekeri, welcome.
Appreciate it, Aurélien. Good morning to you, good morning to the University of Lagos, and obviously to our team, the University of Bologna. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. And Miss Elisabetta Vorbey.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to see everyone, and I wish everyone a great match today.
Thank you. It's great to see the former participants coming back and coach the new team every year in every teams, of course, of this competition. So you will have a free judge for this match. The free judge, they don't know each other, but we send greetings to them in different parts of the world, in Europe, in Australia, and in Chile. You receive the topic for this match. The legal concept of ecocide should be recognized as an international crime under the jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court. So now I will share my screen for the allocation of positions, so we'll know which position you will have for this match. So normally you should see, both teams should see my screen. So there is a wheel where there are two chances, one chance to be in favor and one chance to be against the motion for both universities. So now activate the wheel and we'll know which team will be in favor. The other team will be starting. So this is the University of Lagos will be against the motion. As a consequence, that will be the University of Bologna will be in favor of the motion. So concretely, it means that the University of Bologna will be starting the match, defending the position that the legal concept of ecocide should be recognized as an international crime under the jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court. while the University of Lagos will be defending the position that the legal concept of ecocide should not be recognized as an international crime under the jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court. So now you have 5 minutes to review your notes. You can close camera and mic, and then we'll be starting the match with the introduction by the University of Bologna. Here we are done with the 5 minutes of preparation. So I stop sharing my screen. So before we start with the introduction by the team from Bologna, I just remind everybody that yellow card means it remains 30 seconds before the end of the speaking time. Red card means the end of the speaking time. You may finish your sentence, but if you start a new one, the judge might penalize you. So now I will give the floor to the University of Bologna for your introduction. You have 4 minutes.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Good morning, honorable judges, dear opposing team and esteemed audience. What is a crime so grave, so devastating, that its consequences span generations yet remain unpunished? What is a crime so widespread that it threatens entire ecosystems, yet no tribunal holds perpetrators accountable? The answer is ecocide. The destruction of our mass environment, a crime against humanity itself, and today we argue that it belongs under the jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court. History has shown us what happens when the law is behind reality. We have seen in the cases of genocide, apartheid, and slavery, which was once excused by legal inaction, but now being condemned. And we stand at another turning point. We have to make sure that we do not allow the destruction of the very planet that sustains us. And we should recognize ecocide as the crime that it is. Now, I argue 3 main points. The first one is about the Rome Statute already having the foundation for ecocide's recognition. The second one is about ICCs having the both jurisdiction and the duty to prosecute it. And the third one, how the international criminalization is the only solution. Now, moving on to the first part of my argument, which is about the Rome Statute already having the foundation, if you look at Article 8 to B4 of the Rome Statute, the environmental destruction has already been criminalized, but during wartime. Now, this gives us a question. If it's a crime during wartime, how is it not a crime during peacetime? Furthermore, in 2016, the prosecutor office of the ICC mentioned that they would prioritize cases involving environmental destruction. And this means that the legal groundwork is already there. We're not talking about expansion of the ICC's mission. No, we're talking about the enforcement of its principles. Now, moving on to the second part of my argument, which is about the jurisdiction of the ICC, we are aware that ICC was created to end impunity for the gravest crimes affecting humanity. Now, some may claim that ecocide is an environmental issue, not a human issue, but this is completely false. Because if you look at the facts that mass deforestation fuels climate displacement, industrial pollution poisons entire communities, and the corporations profit while regions become entirely uninhabitable, this shows how grave environmental destruction actually is. And also, if a government bombs a village, it's a crime against humanity. But if a corporation poisons a water supply, causing thousands of people to suffer, how is it not a crime? Those who knowingly cause environmental damage, devastation, must face justice. Now, moving on to the final part of my argumentation, which is about international criminalization. We know that there could be claims about national laws and civil liability being enough, but this is demonstrably false. Because the Deepwater Horizon oil spill case was the worst environmental disaster in US history, and the British Petroleum just paid fines and no one went to prison. Also, in the cases of the Amazon rainforest burning, not any national government is either complicit or powerless to stop it. And multinational corporations escape accountability by exploiting weak legal systems. Now, if national laws were enough, we wouldn't be here arguing for international action. Criminal law exists not just to punish, but to deter. Genocide and war crimes were criminalized because political sanctions were insufficient. And now, as the law evolves, we must do the same for ecocide. Coming on to the conclusion, honorable judges, the time for justice is now. If we fail to act to recognize ecocide under the jurisdiction of the ICC, we send a message that those who destroy the foundations of the life itself can do so without consequences. It's not about recognizing ecocide as a crime. It is a crime. It's about recognizing it under the ICC and having the courage to prosecute it. This will be the end of my argumentation. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Now we hear the introduction from the team of the University of Lagos. You have 4 minutes as well.
Can I confirm that I am visible and audible?
You are audible and visible indeed.
Okay, I will be starting my arguments in Imagine a world where every environmental decision, whether by a farmer, a small business, or even a developing nation, faces the looming threat of criminal prosecution under the International Criminal Court. This, honorable judges, is a dangerous reality we risk by recognizing ecocide as an international crime. Now, while the intention to protect the environment is noble and the proposal to classify ecocide under the ICC is impractical and ambiguous and also economically damaging, it threatens to criminalize development, disproportionately affects developing nations, and overburden an already stretched international legal system. As we speak, environmental degradation causes continues worldwide, yet the truth is that the ICC is not the right institution to address the crisis. Today, my colleagues and I will demonstrate why the legal concept of ecocide is not to be incorporated into the ICC's jurisdiction. Good morning to the honorable judges and my esteemed colleagues at the University of Bologna. In this debate, we will be proving that that ecocide lacks a clear and enforceable legal definition, making prosecution impractical. Secondly, we'll be proving that the ICC is structurally unfit to handle complex environmental cases due to limited resources and institutional mandates. Thirdly, we'll be arguing that the state's sovereignty and the principle of subsidiarity would be undermined by expanding ICC jurisdiction. We'll also be proving that the existing international and domestic frameworks are better equipped to address environmental harm if properly enforced. Expanding the ICC's jurisdiction without improving its enforcement capacity would be the last point that will be proven to show that it weakens the legitimacy and operational focus. And we'll base our argument on 5 key points. One, that the legal definition of ecocide is too vague and lacks the clarity required by the international criminal enforcement. Secondly, that the ICC is not equipped to handle complex environmental cases as I've mentioned before. Thirdly, that recognizing ecocide undermines the state's sovereignty and subsidiarity. Fourthly, we'll be arguing that the existing frameworks, if properly enforced, are more effective in addressing environmental harm, and would also argue finally that broadening the ICC's jurisdiction without enhancing its enforcement mechanisms weakens its credibility. Firstly, we argue that that ecocide should not be recognized as an international crime because the legal definition is too vague and ambiguous. When an independent expert panel has defined ecocide as unlawful and wanton acts committed with knowledge that there is a substantial likelihood of severe and either widespread or long-term damage to the environment being caused by this act, this definition still presents major concerns. Terms like wanton and substantial likelihood are very ambiguous. And so how do we determine criminal liability without universally accepted criteria? Secondly, how do you differentiate between intent and negligence? Because the ICC has to prosecute crimes based on clear intent. Environmental harm, on the other hand, often results from corporate negligence and systematic failures. And so you have the cases where multinational corporations may engage in resource extraction that causes gradual ecological harm, but they are not proposed. But under the proposed ecocide definition, proving intentional destruction remains elusive. Now, we are going to be arguing that on a second hand, that the ICC is not equipped to handle complex environmental cases due to its limited resources and mandates. See, the ICC was designed to prosecute genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, aggression, all of which require human-centered focus. And expanding this jurisdiction to include ecocide would overburden the system that is already in place by showing that there will be more caseload and an investigative complexity as well as financial constraints because the ICC operates on a limited budget. An example thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now we move to the first rebuttals. I would like to give the floor to the team of the University of Bologna for your first rebuttal. You have 2 minutes.
Honorable magistrates and members of the opposing counsel, the opposing counsel has clearly stated that there is a problem with the definition of ecocide, and moreover that there is an issue regarding its negligence and its determination of intent. I will establish that the best definition that we in the field of human rights and international law have for ecocide comes from the famous environmental lawyer Paul E. Higgins, who described ecocide as an intentional harm to an environment which severs and diminishes the enjoyment of its residents. Moreover, the the science backs the possibility that humans can be a decisive factor in this, and as such, there is a clear line where we might establish intent over negligence when we see that a particular private or corporate decision is favored on top of the particular safety and guide and establishment of standards which might be used to protect the environment from someone who would duly have the right to exploit it. Insofar as these two things are true, and there is an imminent need that there are perpetrators who are doing this, that there are victims, that there are specific human rights, such as the human right to enjoy your environment, that are present in the international framework, it is important to establish that it is already implicit as a crime. And the discussion is not whether it is a crime or not. It's certainly a crime, even implied within the Rome Statutes, Article 8, regarding its not military use, and also established within the ICC's framework of priorities for 2022. It is already a crime. The only question that we have is how to apply something that is currently implied within the international system, particularly to the ICC's framework. And the recommendation for such an action would be, first of all, to establish its compatibility with the principle of legality, be that there is a mens rea, actus rea, and that there is a correlation between the action of the actor and the eventual result. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now we hear the first rebuttal on the side of University of Lagos. You have as well 2 minutes.
Okay, so I'd like to confirm to this court that I am audible and visible.
Yes, you are audible and visible.
All right. Judges, the proposing team has said that international criminalization of ecocide is the only solution. However, we would like to state that the intent of ecocide is to prevent willful destruction of the environment, and there are already existing structures to prevent such willful destruction of the environment. For example, we have conventions like the Convention of Biodiversity in Article 27, which provides that methods for dispute resolution will be referred to the ICJ and also can be resolved via arbitration. We also have the Convention on Climate Change in Article 14, which states that resolution of climate and environmental related disputes can be resolved by the ICJ or by arbitration or even by regional bodies. Judges, there is a long list of cases that have been decided by the ICJ on environmental matters to show that the ICJ is equipped to handle the consequences of environmental damage, such as the case of Nicaragua versus Costa Rica, the Japanese whaling case, as well as the case of Argentina and Uruguay. This shows that there are already existing structures to handle environmental laws, which the crime of ecocide seems to deal with. We do not need duplicity of structures when we already have existing structures that work. Also, if we say that we want to criminalize ecocide, we have to remember that before the ICC can only hold accountable private persons, that is natural persons. And if they hold the natural persons accountable, how would these sanctions reflect on the corporations? How would these sanctions reflect on the government that are the major perpetrators of this crime? It is also on this ground that we suggest that there needs to be other international institutions that are equipped not just to try natural persons, but as well equipped to try also corporations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now we hear the second rebuttal on the side of the University of Bologna. For 2 minutes, you have the floor.
My esteemed colleagues from the opposition have clearly stated that there are other possible solutions to this, and I definitely agree. The more solutions, the better. If we imply state obligation, the better. If we move towards local discussions, the better. However, it's not about how many solutions there are, it's about which is the most suitable. And in a moment in which private actors manage to occupy the public apparatus and move around structural weaknesses of the legal system so as to gain impunity in circumstances such as this, there is no other way apart from establishing a type of supranational or international intermediary, which could lead to causes for people who can find no forum within states who are already vested in the interest of economic exploitation. Such are the cases that my colleague has mentioned, particularly when we speak about the case of Argentina versus Uruguay, which particularly concerns state-run operations. However, where are the remedies when private ones are the specific actors? Moreover, we must establish that when we particularly look at the forum of the International Criminal Court, it is particularly pertains to crimes against humanity. And given that there is a human right which sustains such a crime to obviously the enjoyment of the environment, anything that goes against it or severs it naturally can fall under the jurisdiction and current jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court. In such a way, we're not necessarily speaking about the creation of a new crime or criminalizing something that is new. Moreover, we're speaking about establishing in writing and via interstate amendment the capacity for this to be articulated within the Rome Statute. Ladies and gentlemen, it is simply to be known that state obligation is not enough. In a time where private enterprise coerces the state via finance so as to attend to its interest instead of its constituents. The people need a forum. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we hear the second rebuttal on the side of the University of Lagos. You have as well 2 minutes.
Judges, we agree with the proposition that the best and suitable method should be employed to deal with crimes and environmental cases. However, is the ICC the most suitable body in this instance, especially where they have a poor track record of already dealing with the cases that are already their jurisdiction? Your Excellencies, the Rome Statute tells us that the ICC has a jurisdiction, for example, for crimes of genocide and humanity. However, their track record in dealing with this case is poor. Let's look at in the case of the Ongwen of Uganda. His arrest warrant was issued in 2005, but he was not apprehended until 2015. We also have the Jean-Pierre case, where his trial began in 2010 and lasted for 4 years, but a decision was not made until 2016. Your Excellencies, we submit that the case concerning environmental loss is something that needs quick and speedy intervention. It needs to be fast, especially since environmental related issues have consequences that are long lasting. Can we afford to wait for 4 years or even 10 years in some cases before the ICC arrives at a decision? Also, on the grounds of suitability, we further submit that a lot of states, especially states and their nationals that highly contribute to what makes up environmental laws, are not parties to the Rome Statute. We have states like China, like US, and like Russia that are not parties to the statutes. And also, since they are members of the United Nations Security Council, if cases want and since they are members of the United States Security Council, it means that they can actually recommend cases to the ICC. However, since they have veto powers as they are part of the top 5 of this council, how then can cases be brought against them or their national? It is on this ground that we submit that using the ICC is far more suitable. The ICC is not the effective solution because they are hampered by these setbacks. It is on this ground that we once again affirm that we need a new body that has the power to impose its decisions both on persons and also on corporations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we come to the conclusions. So I will give the floor to the team of the University of Bologna for the conclusions. You have 2 minutes.
Honorable judges and dear audience, the moment to act is now. The destruction of our environment is not just the unfortunate consequence of industrial progress, it's a crime against our future, against the entire ecosystems, and against the very fabric of life on Earth. History has taught us that legal recognition defines the limits of impunity. Slavery was not just abolished because it was immoral, it was abolished because the law made it a crime. Now we must do the same for ecocide. The foundation is already in place. The Rome Statute recognized environmental destruction in the war. How can we justify ignoring it in the peace process? The ICC was created to prosecute crimes of the highest gravity. When corporations poison the water supplies, when governments sanction deforestation on an irreversible scale, when entire ecosystems are destroyed for profit, these are not just environmental issues. These are crimes, and the crimes demand justice. National laws have already failed. Fines and civil penalties do nothing when those responsible remain in power, free to continue their destruction. Only international accountability can close the gap. The ICC must not only have the jurisdiction, but the duty to prosecute ecocide. The question before us is not whether ecocide is happening. It is. The question is whether we will have the courage to name it, prosecute it, end it. The law must evolve, just as it always has, to meet the greatest moral challenges of our time. And today, the challenge is ecocide. If we fail to act, we are complicit in the destruction of our planet. The time for justice is now. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Now we hear the conclusion on the side of the University of Lagos. You have as well 2 minutes.
All right. I just want to be sure if I'm clear and audible.
Yes, you're audible.
All right. So we understand that the devastation of ecocides demands serious attention. Criminalization of ecocide under the ICC is not the optimal solution. More effective and achievable approach has been stated by my colleagues. Firstly, we burden on the fact that the definition of ecocide it faces a lot of ambiguity as to enforceability and the legal definition of it. We went on to talk about the enforceability of the ICC itself. We talk about the restrictions faced by the ICC, restrictions coming from the United Nations itself, the UN Security Council, restrictions as to the scope of the ecocide itself. Then we went on to talk about uh, the impact of enforcement as well. We talk about the impact of sovereignty as well, sovereignty and jurisdiction of member states as well, because the ICC is an international court. Thus, the member states they are subject to ratification of the laws made by the ICC itself. So if the member state decides to say they are not doing it, it's an optional clause. So that is also a kind of limitation to the ICC in enforcing the term ecocide as well. So all this we've combined together we've combined together to prove that we know that ecocide is a criminal concept, and it is ravaging the world in terms of global change. But we are advocating that ICC is not the man for the job. ICC means not the man for. We have effective legal national framework in line. We have other existing frameworks in the United Nations Convention on Climate Change, United Nations Convention on Biodiversity. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We heard both conclusions, so from now you are not under evaluation. So you can breathe, you can sip a bit of water if you want. So now we are in the post-match phase of the session. So it means we'll ask each of you some impressions about this match, the preparation, the topic, and the performance of your team and the opposing team. And after we'll do a bit of networking to finish this session. I would like to give the floor first to Mr. Molinelli Gonzalez. What do you think about the match and the topic preparation, performance of both teams?
Thank you very much, Monsieur Laurent. What can I say? Regarding our colleagues from the University of Lagos, I'm very impressed, particularly with the colleague that I had to do the counter arguments with. She had an arsenal of cases and laws, and I was like, wow, it's impressive, really. So I salute you, my respects. Moreover, I have to say that regarding our preparation, we're very much researched and argumentatively focused. So we're constantly writing and talking to each other and everything. So truly to be able to compete with the teams as prepared, I would say, or as the team of the University of Lagos was truly an honor. So my impressions are precisely that I'm very happy.
Thank you very much. Miss Grace Nachi Amarchukwu.
Yes, I think this was a very wonderful round. I think something that cuts across all the team is that we actually do care about the environment and we want to see things. So I really enjoyed researching this topic because we're looking at what is the way forward for the environment, what structures do we have to put in place. And for the person I did the rebuttal with, it was amazing. I like the back and forth communication stage. And overall, I really applaud your structure. You guys had a flow from the first speaker to the third speaker. On our research, it was a lot, but I'm happy and I'm confident in what we're able to pull up in a very short amount of time. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Miss Gulekan Ildiz, what do you think about the match preparation performance of both teams?
First, it was so excited for me. I feel so excited. And it was so nice to hear the University of Lagos arguments, conclusion part, and the introduction part. There were some very impressive sentences that influenced me, and I already took notes. That was so nice to hear you. Thank you for your efforts also. And also thank you for my team.
Thank you very much. Mr. Lawrence Ochendu, what do you think?
Yes, I think this was a very insightful session between both teams. You know, I could see the structure and the preparation behind each speaker's submissions to the forefront. One thing that really stood out for me was, you know, the manner of approach to their arguments, right? Like Grace has said, we can tell that this topic is one that is a relevant topic in today, like in this day, and the effects of ecocide are far-reaching. And so hearing the like both sides talk about how these issues should be focused on, but looking for the best measure to focus on this issue. It was very insightful, and it was also very commendable for both teams. And yes, I wish the other our colleagues at the University of Bologna the best. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Mr. Mahmoud Bayramov, what did you think about this match?
First of all, I would like to congratulate the opposing team. It was an exciting debate match competing against you. About the team, our team, I would say I'm very proud of them because they have done an amazing job. And also the topic itself, I would say, is very important because right now environmental law is becoming more and more promising and important. So as lawyers ourselves, it's very important to debate on this topic and research very deeply. So finally, I would say I wish best to the students of the University of Lagos. I wish best for all of us.
Thank you very much. Mr. Olaide Tozin, what did you think about the match?
Thank you very much. To me, honestly, I feel like this is a big opportunity. It's an international platform. Being here and viewing debate and others with international countries, and it's an honor to tell you. It's a big honor to me, and very much appreciative. And I also like to extend my gratitude to the opposing team. They did a very good job. It was an intense competition. I will the best in you.
Thank you very much. Now the floor to the coach. There are two coaches in the room. So we start with Mr. Salahdin Chakiri.
First off, congratulations to both teams. The match was real fierce, and the competitive nature of it all really shined through the whole match. There was a rhythm to it also. It created in me anticipation, like what is the next thing that is going to be said. So just from an exhibition point of view, props to all of you guys because you did an amazing job, and really the preparation was solid, and it was exposed very well. So very happy with the outcome, really.
Thank you very much. Ms. Vorobey.
First of all, thank you for the opposing team and for our team as well. It was a really exciting match for an incredibly interesting topic, which is quite correlating with what I'm studying right now. So it was really interesting to hear especially the opposing team, since that is a new approach to the topic. So for me personally, it was of a special value, and I'm really grateful for this opportunity. For the team of University of Bologna, the only thing, really well done.
Thank you very much. So after your impression, now we do a bit of networking because here there are only lawyers and jurists. So and it's a way to see what you have in common eventually and what actually could connect you as well after this match. So two questions. So we start with the first question I will give to each team. You can choose who wants to answer and as well add some complement of information. So first, how did you choose and why did you choose to participate to this competition? How was actually the process? How was actually the selection maybe, or you did interviews, or there was an internal competition, I don't know. So I will start first with the University of Lagos. How and why did you decide to participate to this competition?
Alright, so why did I decide to do this show? Well, the major thing for me is advocacy. I've been working towards improving my public speaking and advocacy skills. And I know that if I commit myself to round after round of competition, I know that the speaker I'm going to be at the end of this process is going to be way better than who I was at the beginning. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to do it. I think I'll just ask my colleagues to decide, tell us how you want to say it and how we want to.
All right. So to me, I initially I think to not do something is I follow the concept of doing something. I believe that if you don't do it, you will not learn. This is my first time doing that, and I am just one thing I'm happy about is the fact that I took the step. Although it was a rigorous project process before we got to this stage, because we did a lot of internal competition and development and graduates. So it's just the motive to do it. What I did for the to start. Very, very good.
Yeah. So on my hand, it's one thing that the Hague International University Debate is known for is the quality of the topics that get debated on, in terms of the relevance and also the importance of those topics in present day matters. And so it was very compelling for me hearing, watching other schools debates and seeing the kind of topics they were debating on. And it just communicated the idea that at the end of a process like this, your thinking faculties will definitely be expanded by the amount of research you have to do in certain topics, say in space law or environmental law. And yes, it's really shining through. So that was my major motive. And as a collective team, I think it's safe to say that we want to be here and we definitely hope to, see how this turns out at the end of the journey. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, same question for the team from the University of Bologna. So, yeah, how did you decide? How was the selection process? So, who wants to start?
I can begin. So, my first contact with the selection process was an email by the supervisor of our program, basically stating that we're searching for candidates who could participate in this competition. Upon reading upon the competition, I found out that it was not only related to The Hague, which is a place that I cherish a lot because I was a participant of the Hague Academy of International Law, and moreover, it also exposed me to international law debate. And coming from the US background, where I have had experience in courts, be them private or be them in the federal scale or the local Puerto Rico scale, I wanted to elevate my legal understanding to international topics. So this was naturally the way to go, and I totally agree with my colleagues from the University of Lagos. The intensity of research and the particular importance of the topics therein have been a substantial learning experience, both for the practice round and now for this round. So I'm very much looking forward to all of the intensity of learning that there is to go in. And moreover, the selection process was that we had what would we call a bit of an audition with our coaches and the professor. And I don't. I'm happy to be here. Let's say that we survived
Okay,
the process.
thank you. Who is next?
Also, I can talk. Just already mentioned about our selection process. Maybe I can talk about little bit how or why I joined this debate, or why I wanted to join this debate. Because sometimes I feel like in this era, especially, we forget how to argue. That's why this is for me so impressive. We are right now learning at the same time how to argue and how to approach from different perspectives to topic or motion. That's for me the most important sides. Also, the hard debate created by Corax Foundation is known for bringing together uh, passionate debaters from all over the world. That's so amazing to be part of that debate. That's why, because we can hear from different perspectives and from different world. That's why I wanted to join this debate.
Thank you.
And I would also like to share the reason behind the participation in the competition. So basically, I'm a huge fan of participating in legal competitions. I have participated in most well-known, such as JESOP, the Competition on International Humanitarian Law. So the reason that I love participating in these competitions because for example, you practice how to argue before judges. We know that in classes, for example, we can learn about a certain topic, we can research something, but talking before a judge, being reviewed, this is the most important thing to improve, to develop yourself. Therefore, I believe participating in legal competition is something that is very essential as a lawyer to improve yourself and become one of the best. And regarding our selection process, it was an interview. Our coaches and also one supervisor from the program participated. It was very interesting because they gave us a topic beforehand the interview to be prepared, and after our argumentation, they decided who will be the participants. Once again, I'm really honored to be here, and I'm trying to make the most out of this competition. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much. Last question for this session. It's a more cultural aspect. So I will ask to each team, starting with the University of Lagos, what would you recommend to try as a food the first time the other team will be visiting your city where you study? So, for example, the first time that Bologna team will be coming to Lagos, what they should try as food in your city?
Yeah, that's a very important question, right? So I think if you're going to be coming into the city of Lagos, you must be ready to try jollof rice. I don't know if you've tried jollof rice anywhere, but if you tried that in Lagos, you'll definitely see the difference. So the food is jollof rice, and if you're feeling up to it, you could add some shaki roundabout and any of that. But we'll still be open to recommend it. But yeah, jollof rice is the go-to.
I also want to recommend because we have a lot of swallows, and Lagos is in Western Nigeria, so if you're coming, you have to try amala and ewedu soup.
Yeah.
You have to try it.
Yeah.
Well, as my colleague has said, basically they are just saying that you should just partake in the culture, like just feel our culture.
Yeah.
Feel our culture. It's exciting. So I don't know if you kind of culture shock, but
Yeah.
you are really enjoying that conversation.
You're right.
Thank you very much. And then the first time the Lagos team will come to Bologna, what they should try as food?
Well, there is a bit of a bifurcated discussion here because I think that in this team none of us are native residents of Bologna. However, if I were in Bologna, you definitely have to try the original Bolognese, be that tagliatelle or the lasagna verde alla Bolognese. These are all like amazing things. And if you're in Italy, do remember to drink the regional wines, not just any wine that they sell you. And the regional wine in our case would be Lambrusco. So this combination of Lambrusco with tagliatelle alla Bolognese, highly recommended. However, if you are going to go to my homeland, which is Puerto Rico in the Caribbean, you will find that a lot of food is very similar to Nigerian. We have our version of jollof, which is mampostiao. We have our version of ewa, and fufu, which would be mofongo. And I myself am a fan of Nigerian food, and I hope to visit one day. But I think that if you visit the Caribbean, you will find that our food is almost very, very similar to yours, and thank God it is. Thank you.
Thank you. You want to add something else, Mr. Bayramov? Let me see this.
I am totally agree with Jose. Also, I am not native of Italy. I am from also Turkey. And you should definitely try the bolognese sauce with the pasta. And also tagliatelle al ragu, it can be an option. Also, Italy and Bologna is known for famous cheese. Maybe you can try to famous and local cheese. It can be another option with the local wine.
Thank you.
I
Yes?
agree with my colleagues, and generally Italy is the food country. So if you come here, you have to try everything, and probably you will like the most of it. As also being a non-native resident here, I'm I'm a little bit, let's say, too much complicating about the foods other than my national foods, which is Azerbaijani food. But being in Italy, I feel like home. All the food is perfect.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So that is the end of this session. I want to thank all of you for this very intense match. I have to say, very, I would say, sporty match even. I would say for this first round because you will have two other rounds against the two other universities in your group. So I remind that will be yes, Tilburg University in the Netherlands and the University of Zambia. So this is our first participation concerning the University of Zambia and the third or fourth participation for the university in the Netherlands, but of course a new team. So that will be day 2, day 3 of the group phase. The 3 judges will be watching your match as of now, and they will be giving their results, I think, around the end of this week, or very early Monday. And of course we share with you their grading rubric, and you will receive the debate topic of the second round 7 days before the second match. So many thanks again. Wish you the best in Lagos, wish you the best in Italy as well, and we keep contact. So thank you again. Have a good rest of the day. Bye bye.
Thank you. It was
Thank
a pleasure
you.
to
Thank
meet
you
all of
so
you.
much.